Hello, it's James here. I'm up in the Sierra Nevadas again, in the pine forest, and I want to talk today about the importance of getting out into nature and what that can do for you. Mainly shifting your paradigm about your place on this planet. And that happens from immersing yourself in wild, natural landscapes and observing how nature works. And once you spend enough time in natural wild landscapes, you start to see that there's a life cycle that takes place in nature. And once you observe that life cycle, you see, where plants choose to grow, how animals interact with each other, how animals interact with their environment, how they get food from their environment. All kinds of things come up into the forefront, and you see that there's this whole cycle that happens. There's the way that nature operates. And it's tough for us to see that in our daily lives because we've basically separated ourselves from that whole life cycle. And we've created an artificial environment for ourselves out of comfort because it's quite nice to have, a room that stays the same temperature all day, no matter what, and the luxury of sitting on our couch all day and watching adventures on the TV happen, and eating food that's basically delivered to us at our leisure. And this has really led us astray from the life cycle of nature, and all kinds of problems have arisen because of that. Mainly decreased intuition about what is going on in our ecosystem. And once you're disconnected from that, number one, you don't care really what happens in the environment. And number two, you just don't understand it anymore. You don't understand what's going on with the planet. And that's happening a lot today. And there's a few practical things that you can do to immerse yourself in wild nature again. And that entails going out into wild places and spending time out there. And you can do a couple things. The number one thing, in my opinion and experience, after 2 years of doing this, is drinking wild spring water. And when you do that, you go to a spring, there's a couple things that happen. One, you're bringing yourself out of that artificial environment that we've created into nature, and you're gathering something that's wild and natural, and then you're making your body out of it. When you drink water, your blood is made out of that water. So 75% or so part of your body is water, and you can make that out of wild ecosystem water. That's profound. You don't even have to think about anything. It just happens. You drink the water and you're made out of the wild. So that's a pretty easy thing to do. It's kind of takes some steps to get to the point of doing that, but once you commit to doing that, your whole paradigm shifts on what water means, and as well as why you even drink water in the first place. So another thing you can do is learn about wild foods in your area. So this can be done from going on a wild plant walk, or like a nature hike with someone that knows what they're talking about and can identify certain plants in the area. Or you can get a guidebook to your area and learn the plants that are there and start to eat those plants and get that nature into your body. And when you spend time in nature, you realize that there is a life cycle, and there's this kind of energy that nature has that you don't see in our artificial environments. And that has been called a few things over the history of our culture. Chi or prana or mana, it's called in like the Polynesian culture. And basically it's this life force. It's a vitality that things in nature have. And if you can seek that out and get those things into your life, you can start to have that higher vibration of vitality, or that life force, and you can emit that and do incredible things in your life with that kind of power. So once you tap into the life cycle of nature once again and remember that you're a part of it, you see that you are made of the same thing that all of nature is made out of. and you begin to act in accordance with nature because you realize that you are nature and you're just expressing nature in your own unique way. And once you tap into the life cycle, you begin to see that the planet has plans and intentions for itself, basically. And when you're in line with those plans and intentions, you begin to act those out in your own life. And your priorities change, and you focus more on things that further the evolution of our planet, because you realize that you are the planet and you want the world to be a better place. So your priorities change in your life, and you start to do things that foster that evolution, that planetary evolution. And things happen that you never could have expected or believed, and it really changes your beliefs about what's possible, because you have this kind of energy and you're backed by the planet, you're backed by nature, which is such an incredible strong force. So it's really important to reconnect with that source, that nature energy, so that you can start to become it and then do its work, basically. That's an exciting thing, in my opinion, because there's so many things that you can do, and it doesn't take, I mean, it takes some soul searching to really find out what your unique mission is within that whole spectrum of the life cycle. But once you start immersing yourself in the life cycle and immersing yourself in nature, it comes to you. It basically, you understand it. You see what you're good at. You see what you know what you're meant to do, basically. And I think a lot of people are looking for that in their lives, just feeling lost. And the lost kind of feeling comes from being immersed in this artificial environment that just, it's like we're blindly walking in the dark because we're not connected to nature, and nature is what we are. We are that. So yes, and I wanted to say one more thing. Traditionally, our elders would teach us this kind of thing about our connection to nature, but that didn't happen for my generation, at least, because my elders were focused on supporting a system and a society that they deemed important and significant. And I mean, granted, that's all they knew because they grew up in it. So they put their energy and they taught us things that helped us be good at living in that civilization. But honestly, we're seeing that civilization and that paradigm, more so a paradigm, crumble underneath its own inconsistencies. And it's crucial, honestly, to step away from that artificial environment and start to rely more on nature, because it's constant. Nature is a solid rock, and who knows where this artificial lifestyle paradigm is taking us. So it's best to just extract yourself from that and learn to, and reintegrate into nature. And that doesn't happen overnight. It definitely does not happen overnight, but it's baby steps. So first thing is just get into nature and start making yourself out of nature again. And yeah, but that's basically it. So when you immerse yourself in nature and reconnect, you start to see that you are nature, and you start to see that there's this whole plan, this life cycle that you're a part of, and you start to act in accordance with that life cycle and do things in this world that further along the evolution of that life cycle. And that's the point of life, really, in my opinion. And it's all magic. It just get out into nature and immerse yourself. Drink the spring water. Make your blood out of wild water, and start learning wild foods. And those are just two things you can do. And it's a journey. It's really a wild ride once you start on this journey of reconnection. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I could say a lot more about it, but I'll keep it short and sweet. So thank you very much.